In the centuries after the fall of Alexandria, a body of teachings survived. Fragments scattered across centuries, carried in secret by scholars, monks, and initiates. These teachings shaped every tradition we've explored on this channel. Kabbalah, Freemasonry, sacred geometry, alchemy, all of them rest on the same philosophical foundation. That foundation is Hermeticism, and at its heart is a single sentence, carved into what became the most influential text in the history of Western esotericism. As above, so below. Today, we're decoding the 7 principles that built the Western mysteries, and once you understand them, every video on this channel will make a different kind of sense. Hermes Trismegistus, Hermes, thrice great, was not a historical person. He was a legendary figure who represented the merging of 2 traditions, the Egyptian god Thoth, master of wisdom and writing, and the Greek god Hermes, messenger between the human and divine realms. In the Alexandria of the early Common Era, these 2 merged. Hermes Trismegistus became the supposed author of a collection of mystical teachings known as the Hermetic texts. Most of these texts were lost when Alexandria fell, but what survived, fragments, references, reconstructed wisdom, became the seed of every major Western esoteric tradition. The most famous remnant is the Emerald Tablet, a text so brief and so dense that it shaped alchemy, Kabbalah, and Western magic for 2,000 years. The Emerald Tablet opens with these words: "True without falsehood, certain and most true. That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to accomplish the miracles of the one thing. As above, so below. So below, as above." This is not metaphor. This is mechanism. The Hermetic universe operates on a single principle. The pattern repeats at every scale. The atom mirrors the solar system. The human body mirrors the cosmos. Your mind mirrors the divine mind. The tablet continues with the method. Divide the one thing into its essences, transmute the low into the high, and ascend from a gross matter into pure spirit. This is the great work. This is what the alchemists were pursuing. And it was all there, encoded in 3 lines of the Emerald Tablet. The rest of the text is deliberately cryptic. The hidden meaning was the point. True knowledge was not handed to the unworthy. It had to be earned through understanding. In the early 20th century, 3 anonymous Hermetic initiates compiled the scattered wisdom into a single book, the Kybalion. They outlined 7 principles, universal laws that, according to the tradition, govern all of reality. Principle 1. Mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. In Hermetic philosophy, consciousness is not a byproduct of matter. Matter is a byproduct of consciousness. The universe is fundamentally mental. Thought precedes manifestation. This is why every magical tradition begins with the mind. Principle 2. Correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. This is the principle that holds the entire system together. The cosmic scale and the human scale operate by identical laws. This is why the Tree of Life works. Its structure mirrors both the cosmos and your consciousness simultaneously. Principle 3. Vibration. Nothing rests, everything vibrates. Everything, matter, energy, thought, emotion, exists as vibration at different frequencies. This is why sound and music are sacred in spiritual practice. Chanting the divine names was not superstition. It was resonance technology. And this explains why sacred geometry keeps appearing. Those patterns are the visible signatures of fundamental frequencies. Principle 4. Polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has its pair of opposites. But the Hermetic view is more subtle than simple opposition. Heat and cold are not separate forces. They are the same force at different intensities on a single scale. The alchemical work was not about defeating the darkness. It was about reconciling opposites into unity. Principle 5. Rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. The universe operates in cycles. Day and night. The seasons. Birth and death. The rise and fall of civilizations. The esoteric initiate learns to ride these rhythms rather than resist them. This is what the Masonic degrees teach, recognizing where you stand in the cycle and moving with it. Principle 6. Cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Chance is but a name for law, not recognized. There is no true randomness, only causation too complex for ordinary minds to perceive. The alchemist understood this. You cannot force transformation. You must understand the laws and work with them. Principle 7. Gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. This is not about biological sex. This is about creative polarity. The masculine principle is active, projective. The feminine principle is receptive, magnetic. Both are necessary for creation. This is why the Hermetic path and alchemy are full of images of sacred marriage, the king and queen, the reunion of opposites. Now you see the connection. Everything we've explored flows from these 7 principles. The tree of life is correspondence. The microcosm and macrocosm mapped onto a single diagram. The Masonic degrees are polarity and rhythm, oscillating states of consciousness, guiding the initiate through the cycle. Sacred geometry is vibration, the visible architecture of fundamental frequencies. And alchemy is cause and effect, the great work performed by working with natural law, not against it. Hermeticism is the skeleton key. It doesn't replace these traditions. It reveals the logic underneath all of them. But there is one more tradition that synthesizes all of this, one that maps the 7 principles onto 78 images, one that became the most misunderstood and most widely used divination system in the Western world. Next week, we step into the tarot, not as fortune-telling, but as a hermetic map of the soul's journey. Every card encodes a principle. Every spread tells a story the ancients already wrote. This is The Hidden Thread. Subscribe if you want to follow it.